Good day, everyone. Came back a bit quicker than expected here. Look what snuck up on us. Where does the time go, honestly? Where does it go? Alright, as you can see, last part 6 is upon us. And with it, Morgan and the Fairy Knights. And yes, I'm still going to call them Fairy Knights instead of Tom Lane, because that is completely asinine. Because Nasu just can't enter English for whatever reason. Honestly, don't know about him, so I was stuck with the abomination that is Altria as a name. How stupid. Because Nasu can't enter English, and yet he insists. But anyway, I've been waiting for this quite a while. And they're finally here. Of course, now we have Pity available, which mucks over people that actually like 4-star servants, because they're not going to have solo raid ups. So hopefully you like both of them. Which, for this banner at least, I'm unaffected because I want both of them anyway. But alright, let's also, as you can see here, we have a set of new craft essences that have been added, and some old ones have been removed and thrown into the story gacha instead. So that starting from now on, that will gradually happen over time, where they will remove more older craft essences and replace them with newer ones. Which, now, thankfully most of the time, better versions of them, but not all the time, unfortunately. But enough of that. Let's get the rolling started, shall we? Hopefully I have better luck than I have been having. It's been quite concerning, honestly. There's an archer. Yeah, this really snuck up. I knew it was soon, but I didn't. I completely lost track of time. Then all of a sudden I go to do my daily logins and oh, maintenance. Oh, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Okay, we also need plenty of copies of Castaku, because he's just quite good, and since he's story locked, you don't typically have very many chances to get him, unfortunately. Just getting all the coups. The guest and Banshee will also be story locked after these banners, of course. So That's also a thing. Luckily, so far, knock on wood, since they are so popular, they have actually been getting raid ups and such fairly often, unlike a lot of the storyline servants which are just in real bad shape. Oh, can this be a Banshee? That's a good start. Take those.
Servant Archer. 妖精騎士トリスタ召喚に応じ参上したわ。騎士の名に恥じない活躍を約束します。なんて。まだ私のこと知らないんだ。滑稽すぎて気に入っちまうぜ。ええ、それならそれで仲良くしましょう。私、正義の味方なんだものね。
How in the world do you translate Yoshie Kishi? Which is literally fairy night to some land. I don't get it. It's going to bug me for a while. At least it wasn't an actually insulting translation like the good old anime localizers like to do in game. It's just a stupid one. So first 11 rolls. It's pretty solid. This is the main account, of course. Naturally, I have that in LB. I guess all the other accounts where I need to watch out for it. Because I don't think I have it in LB on a single other account. Interesting, 2 Protocoos. I believe that's our first saber. Fortunately, not a gold. Is this coup again? Okay, you're not rated up as a whole, mate. Only one version of you is rated up. Just being cheeky. But then you said I will take more coup coins. Keep those a coming. More out of that. haven't gotten any of the new craft essences yet, but I don't think there's a new 3-star one, so it makes sense. Of course, 3-star raid ups being as they are, that's no guarantee either. Actually, was this in there? We'll see right here. I believe it was. Jekyll and Hyde. Long 3-star caster, eh? I said this before, but not back counting limited and story locked 3-star servants coins was really silly of them. Oh, hello. It's a mind if I do. I think that's my 3rd copy of that. So, where I can foresee MLBing it in the distant horizon, maybe someday. I think I'm gonna take another Banshee. Yep. See, now here's where I could get knocked over when it comes to the no solar raid up thing, because if I keep coin flipping getting her, then normally it's like, oh, when she's MLB'd or whatever, or MP5, still in craft essence mode, then I could wait until a day where our guest is the one that's rated up, but we don't have that luxury anymore, which really is a shame. Or because they can't handle their spaghetti code very well. Or who knows, maybe they did it on purpose. I'll teach them whining about pity. I'll agree that this game's gotcha is fairly rough compared to particularly newer gotchas. However, I do think it's, even pre-petty, is fairly overblown. I mean, I'll use Blue Archive as an example, where Blue Archive's highest rarity raids is equal to the 4-star raids in this game. So 3%. And then people did 2 multis and lost their mind that they didn't get a 3-star yet. It's just, I don't know. People not keeping what those percentages actually mean into account. I feel like a lot of it is right here. Like each roll is 3 of these. So they see that number go down so substantially, and it makes them feel like they rode like 3 times as much as they actually did. I honestly believe that's a big part of it. That, and again, just not conceptualizing what those probabilities are. So as I was saying before, we I dare say we might be running into that exact conundrum I mentioned earlier, because that's 3 ever. Oh well, we'll end up with what we end up with. Trying to remember what her third opened skill even is. She's story locked, so MP4 should be able to get her 2, I believe, without having to limit break her bond levels. That is, I think story lock or limited 4 stars is 50 coins. So she got 150 right there. Some more than 200. No different from dues. Permanent 4 stars though, that's the one that's real rough. 30 coins per copy. We have to hope and pray for those rain-ups. That's why I rarely see that one. Pretty soon we'll be switching to multis. Unfortunately, I don't have enough tickets for another full Barnes. So many archers. Oh, it's connecting. I'm hoping that's a good sign. No, it was a dud. Where are the caster goos? I've gotten 1. There's one of the new ones. That is Buster Up and starting MP gauge, as well as full attack stat. So they basically split. They sort of split Imaginary Element into 3, where they made a Buster one and I believe an Arts one. Naturally, they didn't make a quick one. Because why would they do that? Why would they do that? Tell the terrible design. I dislike his design for similar reasons that I dislike Beowulf's design. 3-star rate-ups. An actual joke. I didn't think you were a myth, mate. Maybe we all just dreamt that Castaku was a thing. Lost ticket. Then we switched to multis. Marmotis. There's 6 left out, but we'll switch to multis anyway. I will do that one, but after we start these. I always forget what that one does. It's full attack. I don't know what that one does. I might say hold on to these. Just in case, for sure hit. That one has something to do with crit stars. Maybe. I forget if they've removed that one or not. I'm leaning towards no, but I wouldn't swear to that. You're joking! You're actually joking! Unless I'm just completely insane, I just need one more to MLB. That's crazy. Naturally, I also need to level it to 100, but that should be doable. Hopefully. Two black crayons. Isn't that nice? That one has been replaced. Fairly certain with another. I'm pretty sure it's still Alluvia C though that replaced it. Two Caribbean in a row. Funny when things like that happen. Jimmy, 3! Do I hear 4? I think that was it though. I guess it wasn't. Can't count either. Covering fire. they've actually added a new. They haven't removed this one obviously, but they've added a new. Well, I think they've added 2 new versions of this one, which are fairly exchangeable with it. I think this one still packs the most punch overall, MLB level 100. See, it's one of the, maybe the only craft essence that when it's maxed out, since it's full attack, normally it would be a 2000, but this one goes to 2400 for some reason. I want to say there's at least one more craft essence that does that, but I'm drawing a blank at the moment of which it is. It's not K scope, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it goes to 2K. Maybe it was Holy Knight's Supper. Or maybe it's just Black Grey. This will be removed before too long. Good old Baldy. Did he get a buff recently in JP? Or moderately recently? Maybe he didn't. Okay, that's 4th copy of Castaku, so at the very least have him B5. And 1 to grow on. The old Minro. Classic. Seems some people mistakenly call getting all silvers, except for 1 5-star craft essence, and they called it a Minroll. That's not how it works, mate. Minroll is getting the guaranteed 4-star minimum. And then nothing else. That's how the words work. Huh. First copy of that one on here. That's weird. I seem to recall getting it quite a bit. This is just all the other accounts. I'm starting to think Barghest is a myth now. And Morgan. It's kind of important that we get plenty of those two as well. It's kind of the point. You're actually joking me. She's trolling me. I see how it is. And then throwing a silver saber just to rub it in a little bit. This isn't too surprising though, this is just like when I rolled for Seed and I on the arts account long ago. When the raid ups were Emiya Alter and Nero, and I wanted Nero, but I got 2 of her and I got like 4 copies of Emiya Alter. I did not want it all. There's another one of the newer ones. It's a pretty good one. I think it's MP strength up and starting. Sorry, it's your color quick one, I guess. Also, when they're MLB, they have 50% starting MP. Is that our first Berserker? I believe it is. I really don't remember getting another one. Oh, that one. About the only positive to there being multiple 4 stars on Raid Up, and maybe I shouldn't say this because I'll jinx myself, but when they're multiple rated up, you have a much higher chance of getting a Raid Up 4 star as opposed to a spoof. Just less of a chance to get a specific one of them, unfortunately. So it's real. It's mostly a negative. Yeah, MP strength. Should go up to 15% and 50%. It's the battery. I might as well lock that. It's a pretty good one to keep. I'll need to remember to go back and lock the Rin one as well for Vosta. Although this account doesn't really need it, I suppose. Got Morgan yet? No. I've gotten 4 Bavanshi. Haven't gotten a single Barghest. Bavanshi's trolling me. She keeps dropping even though I want both of them. Funny enough, I've only gotten 1 Berserker at all, and it is Lubru. If that one sparked, I didn't see the flip side of it. Probably would have died laughing if it had. Nice work, mate. That should do you quite well. She's very, very strong. It's great for farming, great for challenge quests. Really difficult boss fights. It really is an Archer kind of morning, apparently. Same copy of Lance. Team comp. Well, you can if you have Marilyn or Castoria, you can rent someone else's Marilyn or Castoria, and those three together are nigh immortal. That'll do you until some of each is in the game. It's just, it won't be long though. She's coming, what, next month? Oh no, huh? That's 2 of the 5 StarCraft essences that I've got 2 up. And that's not as impactful as the Black Grails earlier, of course, but it is amusing. So yeah, you can slap Marilyn on there, Metacastoria. You can plug Suit in away for if you need more charge. You're actually kidding. I MP5'd it before getting a single Barghest or a single Morgan. Haven't finished Olympus yet. Olympus is a lot of fun. It's a shame that they didn't keep up their really good boss fight designs from there, but at least consistently. But where you at in Olympus? Oh, there's a second Berserker. It's Lu Bu again. Yes, I would be one of them. It is a complete. It's completely silly to call them that. It makes no sense. Just call them Fairy Knight because that's what they are. That is an actual translation of what they call themselves in Japanese as well. It's actually asinine. It's silly. Section 2 of 3. Oh, you got a lot of fun fights coming up. Hope you look forward to it. It'll really teach you to pay attention to boss mechanics. What? What's this going to be? Is this going to be another archer? I swear. Art a spook. Good old Steno. I think that's our first Steno in this account, actually. What a silly little snack. Yeah, but unfortunately, there were quite a few that whined about the difficulty of the bosses in Olympus because they couldn't be bothered to actually pay attention to the mechanics. Which is probably why they haven't consistently kept up the really good boss fight designs since then. With the exception of like Guildfest events and such like that, or Nero Fest. And of course the occasional challenge quest. Most of those are pretty good. Ah, Necromancy. I can't roll without getting you. It just wouldn't be complete. I believe you'll have a good time in it. There's actually a really rough fight in Pulseville 6 coming up that's going to make people cry. And to be fair, it is overtuned. They definitely messed up with it. So there is a reasonable complaint. It is still durable, of course, but they definitely overtuned it just a tad. Compared to the way it works. Planospores. Yeah. As long as you have some good, at least neutral damage AoE, you're in pretty good shape there. Got a good AoE Lancer, you're in real good shape. Like Roma. Speaking of. Starting to become concerned about getting Barghest here. Because I can't expect the same kind of silliness where I get 5 of them in a row. It's likely to still be a mix of her and Babanshi. That's Uriel's. She wants to join Stenar, I guess. But yeah, Atlantis was pretty meh overall, fight-wise. I actually feel it's pretty bad in that regard. There's just a lot of Heaven's Feel. That's my first Heaven's Feel on this account. Huh. How about that? Now, Lost Belt 4, that had some interesting fights. Unfortunately, it had a whole lot of filler fights against cannon fodder enemies as well. 3 was very mixed bag. The Lee fight was interesting. The fight against his students was a real pain, depending on what servants you had available. And then 1 and 2 were forgettable overall, really. Well, you're definitely not alone in that regard. That seems to be a fairly common occurrence for Fate fans. I believe you'll guess that one's new. I believe you'll feel even more strongly about that once you play through Lost Belt 6 and see the story. See our characterization therein. Archers and assassins, that's what tonight is. Archers and assassins. Honestly, I was surprised there wasn't like a Jack spook or something earlier instead of Steno. I've been having really weird luck when it comes to 5-star spooking. 4 of my last 5 were spooks. 80% chance my foot. Is that Castiku? No. Oh well, at least he's in B5 now. Shame about the coins, but beggars can't be choosers. Well, in my case, I did the singles first, and now I'm doing the multis. I use the tickets first every time. Ah, the old Monroe. You hate to see it. I'm trying to remember how many tickets I had. I think 49. Less than I should have. Because I used 10 to try and look sack a copy of Oh, can it be Barghest? Our first copy of Barghest. There we are. Okay. We're cooking with gas now. Oh dear, what was I saying? Before I was rudely interrupted by a wild blonde doggo. That's not on radar. That's the third one of those I've gotten. That's so weird. Almost as weird as the fact that all of these 4 stars besides maybe all of them started as silver and sparked gold. No, they didn't. One of them had the gold spark at the bottom. I remember now. Maybe that was Steno. It's definitely a strange one. But if the game wants to keep giving me the same copies of craft essences I've already rolled tonight, I'll sure take another Black Rail copy so I can MLB it. I don't think that's asking too much, is it?
なんだその顔は。私の顔がそれほどおかしいか。私ではなく、名前がおかしいだと。そうか。まあそれなら別にいいが。もしかして、ここには本物のガウェイン卿がいたりするのかしら。
Alright, I do have regular Gawain. I'd actually forgotten about that till she mentioned it. Yes, I do find the name strange. So I'm laying my foot. What's this nonsense? Yosei Akishi. Fairy Knight. It's not rocket surgery, come on now. Complete lunacy. Alright, also go. I don't think I need any more coins for her, but whatever. I'll take more copies of her. Sure. I'll pass some copies of this lad. Arguably the worst server in the bloody game. They were on that good stuff when they came up with his kit, I swear. Oh, that's pretty good. You take those. That considerably less so. Which open skill? And there's the third new starting MP craft distance that they've added. So which hairpin for Morgan? Well, for Berserkers, you never want to get the third one because it's just worthless. In her case, probably the second one. Well, you said you got 2 copies of it though, didn't you? If you did, then you'll be able to get the first and second one anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if you had to pick one, I would say the second one. That way, if say you have Marilyn, then that's 50% charge with his charge, and wait, my math may be a bit off. Is he a 20% or a 30% charge? I forget. Oh gee. But yeah, probably that one. Both Morgan and Castoria's charges are in a split between a 20% and a 30%, so it gives you a little bit more options with how to proceed. Extra attack is pretty good as well, naturally, but especially in her case, since you would be using her in teams the vast majority of the time, you're going to get less Brave Chains with her, so you won't be using her extra attack as much. But when you do get it, it's nice. But yeah, since you have 2 copies of it, you'll be able to get 2 A-pins easy as if you want. When did they remove you? Was it anniversary? Same copy of that. I believe I forgot to lock the first one. Oh well, I'll do it after. But remember. Big if. Please don't be another spook. Please be Morgan. Okay. Whew. I just knew there's going to be Nightingale again.
Morgan. 妖精国ブリテンの女王にして反人類史を呪い続けるわ。それで問題がないのなら サーバントとして力を貸しましょう。私が女王であることはもう変えようのない事実。お前には私の進化としての働きを期待します。それとも妻として扱ってほしいですか？
On the bonus roll as well. Funny how that works out. So we used magic. That was probably, counting the tickets, around 600 quartz overall, which is, so that's quite below average. That's actually pretty bad luck to have only gotten one 5-star in that, because on average, again, completely average, I bet it will take right at 340 Saint quartz to get you a 5-star on average. So any more than that is obviously, oh, Prisma Cosmos. I think that's like my third of those. So yeah, any more is starting to lean in towards bad luck territory. Any less is starting to have horseshoe up your bum territory. I'm going for as many copies as I can get, honestly. So I'm hoping that our luck from here on out is a lot better in that regard towards Hare and Barghest than it has been this prior to this. Because I don't have all that much quartz left up now. And I'm not one of those whales, I'm free to play. So Darius, or lad I always forget is even in the game. So I'm pretty sure Lizingle's forgotten about him too. He could really use an animation update. But apparently they only do those to enemy mobs now. Don't get me wrong, that's great that they're updating enemy mob animations, but kind of need to keep those server ones going too. You used to have day ones that alrighty. That's what we like to see. We used to have day one servants that have bloody constables. It's actually embarrassing. I've read about this several times, but they really do need to. One of the things that hurts this game player-wise, especially in the West, is the new player experience, which, don't get me wrong, is leagues better than it was, even recently. So much better, but it's still terribly clunky. It's full of just the absolute most mind-numbingly boring filler fights against fodder enemies, wave after wave of them, just node after node. And then a lot of the servants that are in the early chapters of the game don't have animation updates yet. So a new player is going to see all those and be like, oh, that kind of looks terrible. The bloody animation between the Noble Phantasm clash between Salter and Mash is still using their original animations, despite the fact both of them have had animation updates. That's pretty laughable. They haven't even went back and fixed that, of all things. That's supposed to be the real big, the first real big, oh wow moment of that Noble Phantasm clash. And you've got poor Marsh standing there with a head the size of a bloody football. And a little chibi body. But yeah, basically new players get into the game, they start playing it, then they get bored before they get into any of the good stuff, which you have to go all the way to bloody Camelot before you reach. And there's a lot of... As someone who's played through that part of the story way too many times, because I'm really autistically coming up with all sorts of alt accounts. Oh, another origin bullet. I think that's my third of that one. Funny how that keeps working out. I can really attest to how dreadful it is going through all that, even when you know what you're doing, let alone if you're a new player and you're trying to figure things out, so things are taking even longer than it normally would to get through that clunkiness. You also have the issue of the support system. You just grab a max level support from your friends list and they just solo the fights for you, so you don't actually learn to play the game. Then you go into Camelot, Babylonia, and Solomon, and the Lost Belt. Then you get all the way up to Lost Belt 5. There's my fourth copy of that tonight. What is happening? Am I going to NMLB that in one rolling session? Are you joking? I'm getting sidetracked again. But basically you get carried through all the fights because of how overpowered your max level servants can be nowadays. And then you get up to the real difficult stuff where, without really knowing what you're doing, aren't really soloable. And there's plenty of stuff that just isn't soloable by anyone. And then they don't know how to play, and then they get smacked and say Olympus, and then they whine. And then unfortunately the devs see that and stop making really good boss fights. It's a very sad cycle. Yeah, I need to fix the game. Need story replay. Story really needs story replay. That's certainly a roll. That's a lot of gold. Huh. Also, even over the first thing, they should have already done this, had story replay. It's a really bad feeling for a veteran player to get this, oh, really neat new servant. You know, they roll it, they get it, they level it up, and then they have nothing to use it against. They have nothing to do. If an event's not going on, so they just sit there twiddling their thumbs. I guess I'll go farm with it or something. It's gotten to the point where some people save because certain interludes or rank up quests will have interesting boss fights in them. So some people will forego getting the buff or the interlude cleared so they can preserve those fights, and every time they clear them they just cancel out before it counts as a clear so they can play it over and over. It's actually ludicrous that you have to do that. That should not be a thing. You really shouldn't. If you're curious, this is about the 5th time I've went on this rant. I think I'm getting quite practiced at it at this point. You know, game, it'd be really cool if we could get some more guests coming along. Because it's not like story log servants just grow on trees. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to get more copies of her if she's stuck it in B1 for me. I'll take more of her and Morgan, but at least her. Come on now. Breakpoints for when it comes to the coin system, which I'm honestly not the biggest fan of, personally. Yeah, unfortunately that happens a lot. Even if a veteran player is introducing their body and you keep reassuring them, hey, it gets really good. There's a lot of really good stuff in here. You just have to, you know, grit your teeth and get through America into Camelot, and then the real game starts, and then you can actually have fun. But there's so much to get through, and even speedrunning the bloody thing like I did. How many ults you count when I was making? Okay. So when I made my Buster ult, so I have 4 ult accounts. I keep mentioning ults, but might as well fill you in here. I have 4 ult accounts for this game. I have one that is focused on quick, one that's focused on Buster, one that's focused on arts, and then a spare. Now, the quick and arts I made a fair while ago. It was probably about 6 months difference between when I made the Buster account and when I made those two. I made the Buster account right around the time I think it's the 20th 20 million download campaign. It was the one that had Musashi on it and had the first limited SSR ticket. Limited as in it's not a permanent one like the one we're going to get on anniversary is. You know, you had to use it then, and there it would go away after the event ended. So I made 5 accounts, and then I played all of them through Camelot, or through to Camelot rather. And because I misunderstood the way that the login rewards for the Start Dash campaign worked at the time, I speedran them. I could have like taken my time, and I got 5 accounts all the way to Camelot in 2 days. I don't recommend that. If you're curious, I don't. I really don't. So you have no idea how tired I was of seeing those trash mobs all over the bloody place. About as tired as I'm seeing Caesar here, not by guest. All those archers can flash gold, why can't any of you bloody sabers? But the idea was I would get the Start Dash bonuses, and then I would roll on the banner that I had targeted to roll on, which in that case was the Okiton banner during Gouda final. And whichever account got the luckiest would be the one I kept and would be the Buster account. But 2 accounts got fairly lucky. The one that got the luckiest, specifically it got MP4 Okiton and MP4 Samunobu. And the other account got MP2 Okiton, MP1 Samunobu, so that's a bit there. But it also got Sun Zong, and I quite like Sun Zong, so I was like, oh, I'll keep it as a spare. So I don't really play on it that much, but it's there when I get bored and want to play around. Because all my other accounts are caught up on story, so I don't really have anything I can do. This goes back to we really need story replay, so when you get the itch to play, or you get a new server and you want to try them out, you can go back and go to some of those good boss fights and see how they hold up, see what kind of stuff they can solo, see what kind of fun teams you can slap together with them. Maybe I should try one of those patented hyper skips. Maybe we'll get a Barghest that way. I might do that next one, next multi. What? You beauty. Right, I was talking about breakpoints. Thank you for third copy showing up there. Breakpoints for the coin system. But I got distracted on something else. I'm actually not a huge fan of the coin system. Okay, on paper, sure it's fine. If it was just the A-pins, I'd be okay with it because that's not too bad. Being able to get the useful A-pins, because most servants have no use for the third one. Most of the time, it's completely terrible. So basically, you just have to come up with 240 coins, which isn't entirely unreasonable. And with 5-star servants, at MP2 you can easily get 2 A-pins. At MP3 you can get 2... Okay. MP3 is kind of an awkward spot because it doesn't really let you do anything too spectacular in that regard. But MP4 is a big one because you can get 2 A-pins and 120 of them pretty easily with only 1 or 2 bond grails. I don't think it takes a full 5 to be able to do it. So as long as you don't get the third passive, you don't have to do the dreaded, oh I have to get 6 copies of this bloody thing. I think MP2 may be enough for... Let me think. MP3 may be fine for 1 passive and 120 even if you want. I actually haven't 120'd anything yet. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I think it's a bit silly. I feel like 100 is a perfectly good starting point. But what's done is done. But with limited 4 stars, it's kind of similar. Limited 4 stars or storyline 4 stars. MP4 is what it takes for where you can comfortably get 2 of the passes. So we're okay with Babanshi here, but Barghest, of course, is going to be crying if she doesn't shoot out some more copies here soon. A little bugger. I always thought that was quite a pretty Kraltis. Shame it's not exactly useful. Ragnarok. Looking forward to the Zet next year. Of course, I won't be able to roll for her because I need to save up all my quartz for Karen because I got so unlucky on the quick account rolling for her. She's kind of really bloody important for that account to have a nice universal farmer. That's kind of the big bugaboo on that account right now, is the farming is not spectacular. I swear it seems more like Protoku's the 3-star that's rated up as opposed to Castaku, the way these rolls have been going. Ah, you beauty. I have to not look at her name. It bugs me too much. The good news is, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I wouldn't say pretty sure. I think I have vague recollection that their names. Ladies and germs, I'm pretty sure I just MLB'd Black Grail right then. That's the third one today. How bizarre. This actually brings up a good point though. Most of the absolute best craft essences in the game are permanent ones. That being Black Grail, that being Kaleidoscope, and a lot of players will whine about not having them, or not having MLB copies of them. Now to be fair, that's understandable because that's definitely a thing that can happen. But the issue why they don't have them is because every banner they roll for has rated up craft essences. And with 5 stars, generally the rate up is more heavily weighted in your favour to get the rate up when a 5-star actually procs. Like with Servants, it's 80% now. It used to be 70, but a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, they changed it. They buffed it by 10%. Well, the thing with Kaleidoscope is, thanks to the coin systems, this is a good thing it's done. Thanks to that 20% A-pens, now every Kaleidoscope is Super Scope, minus, of course, the 2000 attack. But as long as you max level, you maintain max level on whatever version of, whatever level of limit breaking your Kaleidoscope's at, you'll be in good shape. But yeah, Black Grail's the big one though. She enables so much nonsense for certain servants. And say she's quite good with Morgan, for example. She does approximately all of the damage. And if you're going to roll for Vortigern later on down the line, he actually doubles the already insane MP damage that Black Grail gives. So it gets really nutty. That being said, I'm not going to roll for him. On any account. I'm fairly neutral about Oberon, Vortigern. However, I do lean towards the side of being a bit annoyed that they completely butchered Vortigern, who could have been a great villain, by slapping them together the way they did. That one actually surprised me because I could have sworn that was double-sided. But it didn't start sparking gold, and I became very confused. And the eye's playing tricks on me, I reckon. We really haven't gotten many caster coups though. This is very interesting. Just goes to show that 3-star raider being strange. We're at 3 copies of Morgan, right? Oh, there he is. Another copy. I could snag 1 or 2 more by guest. Obviously, it would have been great to get both her and Babanshi in P5, but we will get a 4-star ticket. I think next year. I believe it's next year. So I'll be able to grab a copy of it from there. I'm pretty sure she's on the ticket, because unlike the SSR ticket we get for Anniversary, they actually allow it to be up to date on permanent and story log servants that are available to be picked, as opposed to the 5-star ticket, which inexplicably stops at Europa. So no Odysseus, no Vridra. It's a bit silly if you ask me. Now they did, I'm pretty sure the permanent one at least does have story locked available though, so you can grab like Cedo 9 if you want. Because I think that was a big complaint. I don't know, my memory is a bit fuzzy on the details on that. One of them didn't have story locked servants on there. And, people had a bit of a tizzy over it. That, I think that's 3, probably 3. I'm actually curious. I'm expecting this anniversary will get the Mighty Chain update, which will be very interesting when it comes to balance of the fights we have in between now and the point when it was added in JP. But I definitely expect it, because we got the coins way early, which was supposed to be what was added this upcoming anniversary. So now they don't have any big draw to it. So that's why I'm expecting the Mighty Chain update. It's quite fun though. Now we're getting a bunch of Castacoos, making up for it. Now if only the Barguests would start doing that as well. I would certainly approve of that. So I'm quite looking forward to the Mighty Chain update. It makes solos even better. And it actually helps out quite a few servants that were a little underpowered before it. One thing it helps is, so it's both an update to the Mighty Chain thing, but it's also a buff to quick cards. And that helps a lot of the day 1 and early FGR servants that have really botched hit counts. for the cards, because a big weakness for a lot of the day one servants is the fact that they have really scuffed hit counts. Like even Ushi's hit counts aren't spectacular, and it's just her kit is so outstanding that it just powers through over that. Or like Regent helps him a lot. Oh, lovely, lovely. That's 3 of her. So that means I can guarantee a 4th copy, which means I can get 2 of her A-pins, which is what you want. Pretty sure her 3rd one isn't anything too spectacular. The 3rd one, basically you would want it if it's a class you already counter, so it just makes it even worse for them. Or if it's Berserker, which I guess counts as the class you counter, I suppose. But for Berserkers though, their 3rd A-pin's always useless because it's crit resist, and not a spectacular amount of crit resist either, for a very specific class. So that's a bit silly. Funny thing is, Morgan's passive gives her that 3rd A-pin against everyone, essentially. Sorry already. It's already half done. Alright, so, public service announcement. This is a good craft essence. You should keep an MLB copy of it, because the majority of enemies in the game are humanoid, particularly bosses. So, just having everything you do a large portion of just extra damage is really good. It's definitely one of the keepable 4-star craft essence, of which there really aren't many. We don't have too many rolls left, because I'm obviously going to stop before it cuts into there's a 6th copy of her. I appreciate her kindness of once she got MP5, she stayed away until I got a comfortable amount of copies of the other 2. That was very sweet of it, which contrasts pretty highly with the character. It's quite unexpected. Oh, that's a good one. That's quite good. Get to Brute. Ah, here she comes with a bit. Oh, no, it's a spook. Chiron over here trolling. I'm okay with getting another copy of him though. He gets an MP upgrade, I want to say around November, December. So that's pretty nice, actually. He's actually really solid support. He's quite underrated. And now he's got an MP upgrade. He's no slash in the damage department either. And he's art, so there's an uncountable amount of support for him. So this is special attack against Berserker, but it also gives you ignore defense. Now it is mixed stats, which is a shame, but some extra HP can help against those mean-are Berserkers smacking on you. But yeah, that extra bonus damage on top of the double damage you're already doing to the bloody things, you're really making them cry. Where was I before? Bug-S showed up again. Or, not Bug-S, but Babanshi showed up again. Alright, I said I was going to stop rolling before it got into the aid samples too badly. Although I do still need to do one more single because I have the bonus available. So for a moment there I thought there was yet another copy of Black Grail. I was about to flip me lit. Oh, to finish that point earlier, because I don't think I quite completed my thoughts about it. It's actually not too terribly difficult to get a copy of Kaleidoscope, Black Grail, Fragments of the Ishmael Theurgy, etc, etc. If you will roll on a banner that doesn't have rated up craft essences. Now, unfortunately this comes down to luck a lot of the time, because you want to roll for servants you actually like, so even if it's a banner that doesn't have any specific rate ups on craft essences, if you don't like the servants, then you ought not be rolling on it anyway. But that is one of the reasons why you'd want to roll for story a bit. If this is going to be a long while before something you're actually interested in is rated up, you get that, and you get the itch to roll, which some people are wont to do. You can throw a few rolls into story banner and see if you can't luck sack. Yeah, this will be our last multi. See if you can't luck sack some decent craft essences pretty quickly. If only you flashed gold. It would have been a perfect way to end. For some reason I always think that's a 5-star craft essence. Or please be Bug-S. Bug-S or Morgan, I'll take either one. Can it be? That's just mean. That's just cruel. Wait, really? That's why... Huh. Unfortunately, Dion has the issue of having the exact... basically a very similar kit to a 2-star servant that you may have heard of, named Georgios, or otherwise known as Saint George the Dragon Slayer. But George is better at the job. just outright better. Which is pretty embarrassing considering one's a 2-star and the other's a bloody 4-star. So it really is a shame, but Dion is not spectacular. So many riders. But it's okay, our friendo is here to the rescue. Can't be mad about that. Bloody Dion spook. All in all being said though, only getting 3 spooks isn't the worst. It would have likely been much worse if it was solo raid ups, just because of how often I lose coin flips on those buggers. Oh, double craft distance. Hard with a whimper as opposed to a bang. Alrighty. Let's look over all here. Come to think of it, I have it. Okay, we have a decent amount of QP. Not a spectacular amount, but a tolerable amount. How are you at MP2? When did that happen? Just more, we'll get the lad soon. MP2. Your turn. How many do we have games? 12. We got 12. Suppose that's alright. I forget if I leveled his skills. I think I did some at the dailies. Okay, MP3. It's alright, love, we'll get you to MP4. Honestly, since this banner gets rated up again next year, with Morgan and the Bagest and Babanshi, I'm not too fussed about not getting a 4th copy over here, even without the ticket, because I'll have another shot at it then. Okay, MP3. Where's... Yeah, 6 copies. I really hope the names change when you play through Morspelled 6. There's no real reason to keep that extra copy, so I guess that's a rare prison. Alright. Extra copies of hair. Where is... Okay, 3. Yeah, 3. When it comes to Grails, all three of them are definitely getting Grail to 100. We'll see how rolls on the rerun of this banner goes as to whether I would consider going further for Morgan, since she can do farming and boss fights. She's definitely one I would be willing to do that with.
そろそろクエストに戻る？
Was there anyone else? I'll just say there was it. For Noble Phantasms at least. It was indeed. Scar got another raid up again. I want to say New Year's. I don't know. I don't know about. I would like to get another copy out there if I could, but I'll have to look at my notes about that. Did I really just do that? Go right back to it, please. Okay. This is what I wanted to go to. Okay, maybe I didn't end up here. So now I'm curious, which account is it that... No, it is MLB, never mind. I'm silly. Well, silly and blind. I could have easily seen that it was level 40. For some reason I didn't see this little pit. So I thought, oh, I guess I only had the one. Complete dunce is what I am. You beauty. You beauty. I don't have any more of you, do I? No, didn't think so. Just making certain. You're in my lead now. Really good craft essence for when you're fighting casters, or if you just need Pierce Invuln and it's all you've got. Speaking of, for a newer account, getting this pretty quickly can be really helpful because it's starting MP, it's full attack, and it's Pierce Invuln. And getting a Pierce Invuln craft essence can really save you a lot of headaches for a lot of boss fights. Pretty sure I didn't get any of these. I didn't think so. And I haven't emailed B that yet because honestly I probably should, because I don't think that event got a rerun. This one did though, so I'll hold on to those. Can't believe I got 5 copies of this in one rolling session. Oh, now you give me a great success. Just look at you. I'm gonna have to cut all the way back down there. So 3 copies of that. We'll just leave it as is for now. I will go ahead and do this though, just to clean up the inventory. Oh yeah, I really need to. I just now saw me account. Another one? Really? Oh, a little too far. Just to lose. What am I looking for here? Alright, the Rin one and the Sakura one. Okay, that one. That one. So 2 of those. There you go again. Not too far. Incidentally, this one, Codecast, it's not terrible. If it's a shorter fight, at least. Oh, jeez. And I believe that's it for gold craft essences and the like. Before I do any more of this inventory, I'll do it off screen. I'll just work on making one of these bombs. Hopefully more than one bomb to throw into Black Grail. See if I can't get it a bit closer to 100. I said I was going to do this off screen, and yet here I am. Okay. I'll go ahead and wrap up. So we MP5'd Bavanshi. We MP3'd both Barghest and Morgan. We MLB'd Black Grail. And we got and then MLB'd another ending. I don't even know what to say about that. So, overall I can say that was a pretty good rolling session. Nothing to be upset about, pretty high on it. Thankfully made up for the really rough luck I've been having rolling in this game for the past while. This year's been pretty rough. Well, I say this year, basically after the Avenger Ushi rolls, it just went straight into dunny until now. So hopefully that's a sign of good things to come. I won't hold my breath, but I'll go ahead and stop jibber jabbering. This stream's dragged on long enough. So hope you enjoyed. See you next time.